Hello and welcome everyone, Capcan here, and today we're looking at our Assassination talent tree from Dragonflight coming up to us in just a couple of months in November, in the end of November. Let's start with the Deadly Poison. Coats your weapons with a lethal poison that lasts for an hour. Each strike has a 30% chance to poison the enemy for nature damage. Over 12 seconds, subsequent poison applications will instantly deal lesser nature damage. Then we have improved shiv. Shiv now also increases your nature damage done against the target by 20% for 8 seconds, which is quite good on single target, quite big increase. Then we have our venomous wounds. So you regain 7 energy each time your garrote or rupture deal bleed damage to a poisoned target. If an enemy dies while affected by your rupture, you regain energy based on its remaining duration. Which is quite good as well for your energy, additional flow of energy, additional recharges of energy if enemy dies quite fast and you don't really have enough time. So we have Shadow Step here and Shadow Step in our baseline talent tree. Which is a bit questionable. Okay, let's read and then I'm gonna comment on it. So instant 30 seconds cooldown, step through the shadows to appear behind the target and gain 70% increased movement speed for 2 seconds. Just the same as here. And what I think they're gonna do, they're either gonna rework some part of this tree, they're either gonna rework this talent, concrete talent, or they will give us either additional charge of the shadow step, or they will give something that increases shadow step if shadow step is already learned and stuff like that, as we've already saw in other talent trees with like especially shaman, a healing totem that gives us another charge if already was learned in other talent tree. Cut to the chase. And Venom extends the duration of slice and dice by up to 1 second per combo point spent. All right, and then to 2 seconds per combo point spent. Elaborate Planning. Your finishing moves grant 4% increased damage done for 4 seconds. Okay, it's quite good and it doesn't upgrade here to second level. Improved Poisons. Increases the application chance of your poisons by 10% and then 20%. Bloody Mess. Garrote and Rupture damage increased by 10%. 20%, okay, so much just passive increases for some percents. Kidney Shot also deals up to 2600 bleed damage over 6 seconds based on combo points spent. And then probably they're gonna be like bigger value. Okay, so quite handy for PvP, and I don't know how potent it's in PvE, but quite good for additional damage in PvP, 100%. Now let's go. So here we see more of a like poisony stuff, here more of a bleedy stuff. Let's see if that turns out true even further than that. Poisoned Catar. Fan of Knives damage is increased by 15% and it has a 5% increased critical strike chance, so increases to crit. Then Shiv, again Shiv, which we already had in our general talent tree, which gives me a kind of weird vibe that some of the talent trees was reworked and some of them wasn't, and they are not really in sync one with another, or they haven't really added some parts to the talent trees. Okay, if they're gonna be reworked, I'll probably make another video where I'll say that they reworked everything and we'll look through it for the second time with the new talent tree. So Shiv attacks with your offhand, dealing physical damage, additional dispelling all enrage effects and applying a concentrated form of your active non-lethal poison. Yeah, so 25 seconds cooldown. Just simply one by one with this ability. Crimson Tempest, finishing move that slashes all enemies within 10 yards, dealing instant damage and causing victims to bleed for additional damage, deals reduced damage beyond 8 targets, lasts longer per combo point. 35 energy, simple spender for your AoE to deal damage to enemies and additionally to deal a dot to them. Venom Rush, ambush and mutilate refunds 8 energy when used against a poisoned target, which is quite cool. Okay, flying daggers. Fan of Knives' radius is increased to 15 yards and deals 15% more damage when it strikes 5 or more targets. So yeah, now this latter part of the left part is the one for the AoE 100%. Ambush and mutilate deal an additional 10% damage as nature, and then it goes for 20% as nature. Let's look at this talent, and then we then we like go for the center. Maim and Maim Mangle. Garrote increases the damage of ambush and mutilate on the target by 30%. So ambush and mutilates increases 3 talents over here. Goes pretty smooth one to another. And flying daggers is a dead end, which means that it 100% the purpose of it is definitely for one type of situations, which are M+ and your AoE damage increase. So in center we have poison damage, increases the damage of your weapon poisons by 15%, goes after your application chance increases for the poisons. Death Mark, carve a death mark into an enemy, dealing bleed damage over 15 seconds. While marked, your garrote, rupture and lethal poisons applied to the target are duplicated. 2 minutes cooldown, quite powerful cooldown for single target damage. Then we have our amplifying poison. Coats your weapon with poison. Each strike has a 30% chance to poison the enemy, dealing nature damage and applying amplification. And Venom can consume 15 stacks of amplification to deal 30% increased damage, max 20 stacks. So that's for you to increase the damage of your Envenom. Or Twist the Knife. Envenom duration increased by 3 seconds. Yeah, here's we have quite hard emphasis on you using an Envenom. Let's go to the left part of the tree probably now. Like this, yeah. So after Bloody Mess and after Shadow Step we have internal bleeding, which we've already saw. Here we have improved Garrote. Garrote deals 50% increased damage and has no cooldown when used from stealth, and for 3 seconds after breaking stealth. So increases for your stealth action. Intent to kill. Shadow Step's cooldown is reduced by 33% when used on a target afflicted by your garrote. That means that if you're blinking onto the target that you've already struck in melee, you're having your more uptime on your blinks. Okay, Exsanguinate. Twist your blades into the target's wounds, causing your bleed effects on them turn to bleed out 100% faster. So that's your damage multiplier for the bleed effects. It's single target, 25 energy, 45 seconds cooldown, which means, it's 100% boss and PvP oriented talent. Then Master Assassin while stealth is active. Oh, I've already read that. No, while stealth is active and for 3 seconds after breaking stealth, your critical strike chance is increased by 30%. So even more emphasis on you getting some stealth shenanigans out there. Iron Wire. Garrote silences the target for 6 seconds when used from stealth. Enemies silenced by Garrote deal 15% reduced damage for 8 seconds. So first part is very good for PvP, second part is good everywhere. And it's like... but enemy silenced by Garrote. Okay, so so only if you're going from stealth, which means more PvP oriented talent, and that's why it's on the dead end here as well. Lethal Dose. Let's cut some talents here. Lethal Dose. Your weapon poisons nature damage over time, and bleed abilities deal 1% increased damage to targets for each of your weapon poisons, nature damage over time, and bleed effects on them. So the more dots you're having on single target, the more damage you deal, which is again emphasis 100% on single target damage increase. Doomblade. Mutilate deals an additional 30% damage over 8 seconds. Cool? Yeah, cool. Oh, our Night Fae ability and our Necrolord Covenant ability. So let's go, let's go with this part. So Sepsis, 25 energy, instant find for 1.5 minutes cooldown, Night Phase, infect the target's blood, dealing a dot nature damage for 10 seconds. If the target survives its full duration, they suffer an additional momentum damage, and you gain 1 use of any stealth ability for 5 seconds, which is quite cool. Cooldown reduced by 30 seconds if Sepsis does not last its full duration. So that means if either you've killed your target faster or your target dispelled it, you can sepsis them again, which is quite handy in PvP and in open world. Or if you want to like kill your main target in M+, but not really an M+ ability, because it's not really AoE. Serrated Bone Spike. Embed a bone spike in the target, dealing 2300 physical damage and some bleed every 2.7 seconds until they die or leave combat. Refunds a charge when target dies. 30 seconds recharge, instant 15 energy. Awards 1 combo point plus 1 additional per active bone spike. Maximum 3 charges. Yeah, so that's cool and interesting way for you to deal some additional constant damage on targets with very, very high health. Maximum 3 charges. Yeah, so pretty cool that we've had both of our Covenant abilities granted to us back, I guess, in here. Okay, let's go and spend some here. A Shrouded Suffocation increases Garrote damage by 15%. Okay, pretty powerful. Garrote generates 2 additional combo points when cast from stealth. Oh, so better openers, better PvP openers as well. Alright. Scent of Blood. Each enemy afflicted by your Rupture increases your ability by 1% up to maximum of 15%. And then it goes up to 3%. Per stack up to maximum of 15%. Yeah, that's quite good passive damage increase. Our first ultimate. Indiscriminate Carnage. Instant 1.5 minutes cooldown. Your next Garrote and your next Rupture apply to up to 8 enemies within 10 yards. That's massive for your damage on AoE. Especially if you're spec'd into Garrote and you're applying it from stealth, and it has all these increased damages. It silences all the targets. Then you deal additional damage to all the targets that was silenced. Pretty massive for M+. We need to see other talents for us to know if it's good. Comparatively. Poison Bomb. Envenom has a 5% chance per combo point spent to smash a vial of poison at the target's location, creating a pool of acidic death that deals 110 damage over 2 seconds to all enemies within it. So additional AoE damage for Envenom, and just proc based, so not as cooldown tight packed, which means that you cannot really control it, which means that you probably you cannot line it up as good with your other cooldowns and stuff, but still quite interesting. Wait a second. Can we even... What? So we... Man, that's so strange. There's definitely some weird shit going on with the... Right? No talents here, no talents here. Yeah, some weird shit going on with Rogue Talent 3 because you just can't get access to Dragon Tempered Blades. If you're spending your last point that requires you to go further, you're out of points. And if you're taking some points before that, if you like, I haven't spent, maybe I spent more. No, you need to spend this amount of points, then you have 5 left, and then you're using 5 of them on these talents, which means like, PTR beta, what can you do? What can you say? But it worries me a little bit with how much of stuff going wrong here. So, Dashing Scoundrel. Envenom also increases the critical strike chance of your poisons by 5%, and their critical strikes generate 1 energy, and then it goes up to 10 and 15%. Alright. And Dragon Tempered Blades. You may apply 1 additional lethal and non-lethal poison to your weapons. So that's for you to be as hardly as poison spec'd as you can. Which is quite cool, I guess. Don't know really though how much it will impact your damage. Tiny Toxic Blade. Shiv deals 300% increased damage and no longer costs energy. We've had something that was increasing our shivs before in talents, if I'm not wrong, but that's definitely pretty cool, pretty good. Blindside. Ambush and Mutilate have a 20% chance to make your next ambush free and usable without stealth. Oh, cool. Chance increased to 40% if the target is under 30% health. So you can weave in free big hitting ambushes. Yeah, without stealthing. Okay. Zoldyck Recipe. Your poisons and bleeds deal 10% increased damage to targets below 30% health. Definitely, like, and then they're gonna be like 30%. Yes, that's a like single target oriented raid ability, because you probably wouldn't really, yeah, it's cool in M+ as well, but you can stack most of your poisons and bleeds and do their damage to low HP targets in PvP and single target mostly. King's Bane then. 35 energy, 1 minute cooldown. Instant. Release a lethal poison from your weapons and inject it into your target, dealing nature damage instantly and an additional for 14 seconds. Each time you apply a lethal poison to a target affected by King's Bane, the damage increased by 15% towards 1 combo point, which even more implies that you want to go this part if you want single target damage. Here we have AoE, here we have AoE, here we have pure like carnage for single target in raids and PvP. So yeah, definitely it looks a little bit weird. It looks like it's either unfinished or a little bit bugged, or they want to redesign it. We're gonna see what happens with it. At least for now, it's in this state in the PTR. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having fun. Hope you're having a good day. Subscribe to my channel if it's not too hard for you, and have a good whatever do you have. Goodbye.